Ba-dum, 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 bum, bum.
I don't want to see any of you.
You
I
gotta
don't want
love
to talk to you. It's all your fault.
It's everybody's
all your
fault.
fault.
All right, everybody, welcome to tonight's Q&A presented by Sportskeeda Wrestling, shown exclusively right here on Sportskeeda Wrestling YouTube channel. By the way, thank you for joining us. Be sure to like and subscribe to this channel to gain access to exclusive news and information. That way you stay up to date with all the latest happenings in the world of professional wrestling. All right, get the housekeeping items out of the way now. As always, joining us here are two pro wrestling insiders. First up, he is the senior editor of Sportskeeda Wrestling. He's also a Hall of Fame wrestling journalist. What a resume. Let's welcome to the show, Mr. Bill Apter. Welcome, Bill.
Well, thank you. Great to be here, and I'm glad we're doing household stuff. I don't have to do it when my wife nags me, but I like this household
We're
stuff.
doing household stuff here. And, of course, next up, he is the man who really does get the news before it breaks, but nothing was more relevant than this week's news. We'll get to that in a second. Let's welcome Joe from WrestleVotes Radio. Welcome, Joe.
Hello, Joe, and hello, Bill. Happy to be back here on this Wrestle Binge YouTube channel with you both, and excited to see what we can get into here on another Tuesday night.
All right, I'm gonna pump Joe up a little bit here. March 6th, you put out a post that the natural disasters, earthquake and typhoon, would be inducted into the Hall of Fame, WWE Hall of Fame class of 2025. Fast forward to yesterday. Joe, what happened? Tell us.
I guess I told you on March 6th what would happen. Natural disasters. We had learned that, and then fast forward 3 weeks and WWE announces it. So happy for them. Both of them deserve it. And, looking forward to seeing what Typhoon comes with on the Hall of Fame stage. So good on them.
I mean,
keep in mind that I did an interview with Fred Ottman, Typhoon, several weeks ago when I heard WrestleVotes rumblings about this. And
thank you.
He had already been contacted by Bruce Prichard and told they were going to go in there. So we, and if you fans watching this or listening to this want to see that interview, it's right here on Wrestle Binge. Just scroll down and you'll see Bill Apter interviews Fred, Typhoon, Shockmaster, Tugboat.
You gotta, I love this show. We make a great team. We're a good triple threat. Joe gets the scoop, Bill gets the interview, and I get to talk about it. So this is good stuff. This is really good.
Sir.
So another early Raw yesterday. I loved it. 3:00 my time. I think it was 4:00 on the East Coast.
Yeah.
John Cena promo. He kind of like I don't want to say a pipe bomb type promo. But Bill, what did you think? He said his piece, ran away from Cody Rhodes, and then that was it.
Well, I'm going to tell you what I think. What I think is, by the way, there's more to this. There's an entire.
Oh, there you go.
During Halloween. Teddy Long has told me for several weeks on our Time Machine show with Mac Davis that the Cena that you're seeing in the ring right now is the real John Cena. And he's not doing this as a work. He's serious. He says he knows for a fact that this is what the real John Cena was. Now, last night on Monday Night Raw, it was hard for me to separate the evil John Cena character and the real John Cena, because after Teddy was watching this, I think he might actually be really PO'd in a lot of ways, that he had to come up with all these characters to get over with the fans when the real John Cena is this guy.
John Cena's pissed.
Yeah.
John Cena's pissed. Joe, what'd you think of that? John Cena.
I thought it was great as it was last Monday. I thought there was, again, some realism in the message that he was putting over. And, the whole I'm going to ruin wrestling, last real champion thing, I think is very interesting. Because I feel like there's some truth in that for him as well. So I'm enjoying it so far, and I think a lot of people are.
I think the thing where he said he was going to ruin wrestling, I think it's better now than it would have been under Vince McMahon, because he would have said, I'm going to ruin sports entertainment.
Exactly.
Back then. But he was very hot and very much into it. And the fans there was no "Let's Go Cena" at all on that
Right.
show.
Yeah.
On the socks. So they're buying it, and you could see also again the kids in the audience. If you really look,
Yeah,
they
the
were
kids.
they
Yeah.
were confused. They were confused, and
What, speaking of kids, what is it this week with the kids and the promos? AEW, Chris Jericho had a promo with the kid. Mercedes Moné's posting pictures with kids. Cody Rhodes always. It's something about the kids this week, and then you get
they're
John.
doing their jobs. They're
Yeah,
not
they
the
are.
kids.
Yeah, it's crazy. It just
The
seems
heat that Chris Jericho is generating, the heat that John Cena and Mercedes Moné, what they're doing their jobs really well.
Yes,
They're
they
getting
are.
No doubt about it.
They're getting the kids upset.
Speaking of someone who's doing their job really well, he's taking the WWE by storm. Of course, I'm talking about El Grande Americano. He is the new luchador sensation. Kathy Kelly put out a great tweet yesterday saying you can't spell luchador without Chad. What do you guys think of that, Joe? What do you think of that?
I think what they did last night was entertaining. I think it's a little different, but it may have the real opportunity to work. But I did hear there was some heavy praise coming out of that match last night. Gable and Dragon Lee killed it. Crowd loved it. People backstage loved it, and that's no surprise. Chad Gable's been getting this for years, and we know what kind of talent Dragon Lee has. So again, good on both them. But I did hear that there was some heavy praise backstage for those two men.
Bill, what did you think? They showed Mil Mascaras. That was great. I thought of you.
They may have shown praise backstage, but the lucha community in Mexico is PO'd about this thing.
Wow.
If you really think, I spoke to two people.
Wow.
If you really think that making what they called a mockery of true luchadors, that's like a religion in Mexico. It's not like like a funny thing. It's like a religion. It's like mocking their religion. Also, when Dragon Lee was unmasked, to just let him lie there, and the broadcasters were not as outraged that people would have been like back in WCW days. Oh my God, this is a tradition in Mexico. They built it up very, very well. But from what I understand, like I said, the traditional old school luchadors and the fans that follow that tradition like a religion in Mexico were very upset. I loved it. I thought it was cool, but I don't remember the last time, other than Rey Mysterio Jr. losing his mask, which I never liked. I don't remember a time that people were against this thing.
Yeah. Well, he is taking the WWE by storm. It'll be interesting to see what angle. I know we have some questions on that. Speaking of questions, we got a lot of questions to get through.
Well, wait, Joe, you said he's taking it by storm. How was this the internet wrestling community?
Oh yeah, the internet's all over it. People are just praising, El Grande Americano. So they're just excited to see what he's going to do next. And, it's a big thing. Yeah, I think it's one of those lightning in the bottle type things that's going to take place. I mean, like you said, that match last night on Raw with Dragon Lee was definitely a 10 match for me. Number 10 being great. It was really good. So let's get to some of these questions here. What do we got? Let's cue it up here. Waffle Reigns is asking, Joe, I'll ask you this one. What date will Money in the Bank take place?
I believe it's the first weekend of June, could be the second, but we did confirm last week on WrestleVotes Radio. It'll be at the Intuit Dome in Los Angeles.
Okay.
I want to say it's the first weekend. I don't know the date off the top of my head. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's fine. And Bill, do you have any comments on that?
No, I don't know what the exact date is, but
all right.
But I'd like to know who's going to climb that ladder.
I don't know. We are going to find out.
A few months away. See, to me, that would be a great spot for Penta.
Yeah.
It would be a great spot for Penta to win that Money in the Bank.
Money in the Bank. Carry that briefcase. All right. WrestleVotes TC Stan Takashi 69. That's a hell of a username. And of course, his question is for WrestleVotes. He wants to know, are there any more WWE signings that you expect?
I'd expect Miro before the end of the year. I know there's interest there. I don't know if he's ready to sign right now. Maybe more of a summer or fall type of thing. And I know there's interest with Alex Hammerstone. I don't know if he's looking for a WWE contract, if he's going to spend some time on the indies or whatnot. But I know there's interest from WWE in Alex Hammerstone.
Okay. Excellent. Bill, your thoughts on that?
I haven't had any contact with anybody regarding new people coming in until right now. Everything's about WrestleMania.
Yeah. All right. Colin Mack is chiming in here. This is for Bill and Joey votes. He loves the work you've put together thus far with Earthquake going into the Hall of Fame this year. It reminded him of the Howard Finkel, Harvey Whippleman feud that led to their tuxedo match. Ouch. Do either of you know the backstory to this? Did either Howard or Harvey truly want to get in the ring to wrestle, or was just a rib on both of them? Bill, do you have any?
Oh no, yeah, I was. That's part of my era. They both wanted to do it. Vince McMahon pitched it, and it was a marketable thing. It was, it was entertaining.
Right.
There was both of them agreed to do it.
Excellent. All right. So what do we got here? Matthew Ham. He's wondering for Japan Premium Live event, would that take place next year? Bill, do you have any info on that?
You're talking about WWE Premium Live event?
I would imagine so. PLE,
I
that's
don't have
the
any
only
information
company
on
that calls it that. So
no, I don't have any information.
Joe,
on that.
anything on that?
2026 at the earliest, certainly not 2025.
Okay. Yeah, he's asking next year. So yeah, so 2026.
Ages ago, it would have been taboo that WWE would even be able to get into Japan to do a PLE or anything close to that, because All Japan and New Japan were so strong, but the whole Japanese pro wrestling business has gone so far down in a way. It's a shame. It really is.
Right.
Wow.
Okay. Moving on here. Matt Ham's got another question. Here's a good one. What are the plans for Ilia Dragunov when he returns? Could we see him face Gunther maybe at SummerSlam? Joe, any updates on Dragunov?
The last I heard was he was at the PC about 2 weeks ago, I want to say. Don't know if he was in the ring. Could have been there for just medical reasons, but he was spotted. Plenty of people are friends with him. So, I don't think he was hiding, but I don't know if he's ready to return for in-ring action yet. But yeah, him and Gunther makes a lot of sense when he's healthy. Why not?
Absolutely.
Okay. Bill, have you heard anything on this?
Well, who knows? I mean, if he and Gunther are going to be a program, there could be, and I haven't heard anything with this, but my imagination, maybe he'll cost Gunther the title by distracting him and Jey Uso. There you have a built-in feud there.
For one quick second last night, I was thinking if he was cleared, Dragunov, that he was under that El Grande Americano mask. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
Similar builds,
I don't know if enough fans have Dragunov on their radar to be concerned about him at this point.
Yeah. Well, expect the leaks, obviously, if he's at the Performance Center now. So we'll probably get some content for that later on. So, all right. Stephen Blythe is asking Bill. He's got a question for you. Are you friends with J.J. Dillon?
Oh, goodness. But one of my dearest friends, and he and I have the belt inside, are the International Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame Tag Team Champions.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I've known JJ since the early 70s when he was promoting in Amarillo and wrestling in Amarillo. Yeah, I know JJ very, very well. Done tons of interviews. If you go to YouTube and put in Bill Apter with JJ Dillon, one of my closest friends in the business. And what a lot of people don't know, and I don't think WrestleVotes Joe knows this either, that when the WWE was romancing me for a job to head up their Hall of Fame that never happened way back when. It was J.J. Dillon who was brokering the deal for me.
Wow. I did not know that. That's interesting. Oh, man.
That is cool. Bill, you've interviewed everybody. I don't think there's one.
Yeah, really.
One
yeah, there is Vince McMahon.
Well, that's the big.
He never agreed to it.
Yeah, I don't think he won't be giving interviews anytime soon. But yeah, he's always been a quiet guy. So, all right, let's see what else we got here. A question for WrestleVotes: who do you think Logan Paul is facing at WrestleMania? I think that was revealed yesterday.
Yeah, it's AJ Styles. Should be a decent match. Both those guys. Certainly AJ, but Logan Paul knows what he's doing enough where that match should be pretty dang good.
Do you two feel that match doesn't have the zip that it should in terms of
yeah absolutely. It's definitely last minute. I feel it's a filler. It'll be a good match, don't get me wrong. I think these two
I agree.
But yeah, no backstory to it. There's it's like the old days when they had the prelim matches. There was nothing to them. They just put them out there and they put on a show and that was it. Bill, you remember those matches, right?
Yeah, of course. Definitely. I photographed every one of them.
There you go. Todd J, I'm trying to find a question in this. He got a big comment, so let me read this comment real quick. He has to talk about AEW's Cope hitting Moxley with that spike and then having it stick at Moxley backs. He thinks it's amazing. If Cope would have won that match, it would have been amazing. But, of course, the Death Riders come out and Moxley, they get to save in the win. Now we have Swerve versus Moxley. What's it going to be, the same exact feud with Cope? But he wants to add Swerve, it looks like. When does the AEW realize this storyline is horrible? You're hiding the biggest belt of your company in a suitcase for months, and the story is going nowhere. Why doesn't anyone advise Tony Khan? This is not a good story. It's time to end it. Give Swerve the belt already. He was an amazing champ and can carry the company. Yes, a lot of heat on this. Even Toni Storm put it in her promo. She's the world champion. The other title, the other world champion, referencing Moxley, that belt is in a suitcase. And Bill, I'll go with you first. Do you agree with this angle of the storyline with AEW and John Moxley and this whole Death Riders thing? Do you agree with this creatively?
Let's back up. That thing they did with the spikes, with the nails there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, gory itself. Yeah.
That was I always mention this is no knock to the fans. The fans are great.
Right.
But the AEW fans are the current fans of what ECW used to be. So that's shock value. I don't know if that was an accident that happened, but when I saw Mox get up and those nails were in his back, I was like, almost like, this went a bit too far. Moxley, to me, and you'll see him right over there. Moxley, to me, he should be. I don't feel world championship with him. I just feel that he's kind of like if Stone Cold Steve Austin and a hardcore wrestler had a baby, it would have been him. That's what he's very hardcore right now. Swerve, Strickland, they need a focal point on this belt. Moxley is not a focal point on the belt. Swerve Strickland looks more like a champion. John Moxley, no knock to him. He looks like a street fighter. Right. And I think I think they need to get it back on
Joe, do you feel that Moxley's holding that title hostage? Like it's some type of something like that?
Yeah, I agree a lot with what Bill said there. I like John Moxley. I just don't know if he should be AEW champion at this current moment. The hardcore stuff aside, it's not for everyone. That's a different conversation. To get back to the comment about if Swerve should go over, I believe so, and I think that's where they're headed. And it might be kind of a reset for AEW when he gets the title back. Let's see how they can do now, second time through with him on top. So maybe that's what they're thinking.
I feel this whole mess was created by Daniel Bryan, or Brian Daniel, whatever they're calling him up there. He won the title from Swerve and was hurt and had to retire technically, or it just, I don't know. It just seems it's like a big mess. Yeah, it's exactly. And if that's the angle they're going at, congratulations. You have a big mess on your hands, and the fans are trying to figure it out. And I think AEW is trying to figure out as well. So, all right.
Again, there's no focal point
There's nothing,
star
no
in
direction
that company.
whatsoever.
There's no focal point star. WWE, you have someone on the street, they'll come up with 2 or 3 names.
Yeah.
AEW, they'll be like,
Yeah, I've been forcing myself to do AEW. It's been tough. And creative wise, Tony Storm still is the only thing that's working. Everything else is not working, and they need to fix that. I don't know. All right, moving on. We got Todd again asking, happy Tuesday. Hope everyone is well. Thank you. So Cena was great on Raw. So was Cody. He wants to know, why is there no mention of The Rock from Cena? Is this long storytelling where we finally get Rock versus Cena at the end of all this? Would love Cena's last match be against The Rock in Massachusetts at the Boston Garden. Okay. What do you guys think? What's up? Is The Rock behind all? I mean, we know The Rock started this, but he hasn't been seen since. Joe, I'll start with you. Where's The Rock?
Don't know where he is, but I do think what they're doing is intentional. A little slow build here. People are anticipating The Rock weekly. He hasn't shown up yet. You know, one of these times when Cody's looking at Cena in the ring over the next 3 or 4 weeks, his music will hit, I'm assuming. People will go crazy, and we'll get another magical moment. But for them to keep it quiet and not advertise it, or maybe just wait for the very last minute, that's fine too. I like what they're doing. I haven't seen anything wrong so far with the Cena and Rhodes program since he turned.
All right, Bill, any thoughts on that? Where's The Rock?
The broadcasters mentioned on Monday Night Raw that Cena sold his soul to The Rock. The Rock is in Europe making a movie being produced by the genius of Martin Scorsese. Right. I always associate him with De Niro.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Rock will be involved because I don't think The Rock will miss being at such a big event in Las Vegas, even if he's there for an hour and gone. I can't see him missing this. Cody hasn't mentioned him. Cena hasn't mentioned him. So a lot of people are wondering if The Rock is still involved in the angle. I say yes, because he's a big part of this. So people are still talking about The Rock being involved or not, even though no one's heard from him.
Right. Mm-hmm. Well, we'll see. The Rock will show up sooner or later. We're days now. We're just counting down days to WrestleMania. And by the way, of course, we're airing this on March 25th. March 24th, just yesterday, was the 1-year anniversary of the beatdown that The Rock gave Cody Rhodes. The infamous angle where he came out of nowhere, told Cody Rhodes, whispered in his ears, "I'm going to make you bleed." And at the end of the show, it was Raw. He did just that, whipping him with the belt and so forth. That was 1 year ago.
Wow.
Amazing.
Unbelievable. Amazing how this storyline is working out. So, all right, good stuff. Angel chiming in here. What will be the main event of Backlash? I'm asking, since it's less than 3 weeks after Mania, no way they rush Randy versus Cena would make no business sense. Bill, thoughts on the main event Backlash? Could we see a John Cena main event?
We could see him main eventing with the undisputed title against Cody Rhodes.
Ooh, rematch, right. This is Backlash. Joe, what do you think? Main event Backlash.
I would put Randy Orton in that spot. I don't agree with the 3 week no business sense. The only thing WWE is really looking at numbers wise now is ticket sales. You know, they're not too concerned with how many people are watching in the moment on Peacock. So a PLE really has to just sell tickets. And you're saying that Randy Orton in his hometown of St. Louis can't sell out.
Randy Orton against who? Against
John
who,
Cena.
Joe? Okay.
Ooh, John Cena. Okay.
That would sell more than enough tickets.
So that would lead me to believe
that's my match.
Okay, so that would lead me to believe that Randy Orton will have something to do at WrestleMania, because you got 3 weeks to build this feud. I don't think it's going to be one of those. I don't think it's Randy Orton just going to pop out of nowhere and say, "I challenge you, John Cena." There has to be some angle here, because Randy Orton's got a few WWE World titles under his belt too. So we could have that angle of who's better and so forth. But yeah,
Oh, yeah.
That's a good call. Randy Orton, hometown, St. Louis, Backlash, less than 3 weeks. To me, this might be a great PLE to showcase the women and get some intercontinental and, of course, U.S. championship title matches under their belt, because there haven't been any really major title defenses with Chelsea Green and Lyra. They've been involved in angles where either Piper Niven's fighting for Chelsea, or you got Lyra Valkyrie involved in tag team action now. It's kind of crazy, but nonetheless, I think that'd be a good opportunity for the women.
Wait a minute. WrestleVotes, Joe. You mentioned about selling tickets. I think WWE comes to town. They don't have to worry. I mean, of course, Randy Orton being the hometown guy, but if Randy Orton wasn't on the card, I think they'd still sell out.
Don't disagree. I'm not worried about the ticket sales at all. I think this question.
Oh, I thought you said you were. That it was all
no,
about
the question
tickets.
was posed that 3 weeks is that enough time to build it? And I said the only thing they're really looking for numbers-wise are tickets. And if you put the top attraction, Randy Orton, you'll sell those tickets. So I don't think they should be worried at all.
Hometown.
No, I don't think so. They're selling out everywhere they go. It's
everywhere.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Everywhere they go.
And it's big money, too. This WrestleMania is big money. People are mortgaging their houses.
You're not kidding, Joe.
Just to get a balcony seat. So I have an idea for the WWE, if they are listening. Backlash, 3 weeks after Mania. How about some half-price ticket sales? You know what I mean? Because I'm not sure what you're going to get in 3 weeks. You got to build something up. I mean, Logan Paul could take on AJ Styles again in a rematch. Maybe, something
to me, it doesn't matter who's on the card, who the main event is. WWE is the brand, and they're selling no matter what they've got. It really is. I mean, that's my feeling.
All right. Moving on. We did that one. Marcel, will there be another Road to WrestleMania European tour next year? He's talking about next year. Joe, any word on that? If they're going to be going overseas again before WrestleMania next year?
That's a great follow-up question to what we were just talking about. If the numbers come back this year that they were successful, I'd imagine they do it again. Why not?
Bill, what do you think? You like this European tour?
Yeah. There's no reason why not to make that a yearly situation. They're on top of the world right now. Everybody wants WWE in their country.
Right.
So,
by the way, just to cap off, ticket sales are at an all-time high. So their ratings on Netflix now are averaging 3.1 million. It's climbing. It's been 3 million for a while. Now it's 3.1. They're building, and I think it has a lot to do with they're not using the full 3 hours. They're going 2.5.
Nope. I love it.
Solid 2.5. Their shows now are planned out. And I think that's great. I love the European tour. I love the fact that yesterday at 2:00 in the afternoon, I'm turning on Raw on Netflix. And there was no glitch with Netflix yesterday. The first 45 minutes was commercial free. That was intentional. Because people started freaking out because they weren't getting commercials, and Michael Cole was acting like we're coming back for commercial.
Yeah. I don't know if they were clued in, because I saw that. They just said, "Oh no, we're still on." Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, and we had a couple of sidebars with McAfee talking, and Michael Cole saying, "We're live, bro." So it was different. To me, I liked it. I pay for the commercial-free Netflix subscription, but when it's a live event, we get the commercials now.
But think about this. Think about with it growing on Netflix, how many more people are now subscribing to Netflix.
They're at all-time high.
Strictly because of WWE Raw being on there. It's great business.
No doubt.
There's no doubt. It's been a big boost for Netflix. So I see that European tour happening again next year. My good friend Nassim Bahar is chiming in. Have you heard of rumors of Ken Shamrock going into the Hall of Fame, the WWE Hall of Fame 2025? Any rumors? Bill, I'll start with you on Ken.
I've heard rumors about it, but I also heard it in the last 2 or 3 years as well.
And Joe, any scuttlebutt on your end?
Nothing on my end, just the natural disasters. And then, of course, Kamala, which we broke last week. We're anticipating, but I have not heard Ken Shamrock.
Put Ivan Koloff in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, he's got to go in. That's one of the things. And of course,
to me, that's my biggest bugaboo with the Hall of Fame.
They need to do a real Hall of Fame with real I don't know. There's just so many. To me, Tony Garea, Rick Martel. I know I've said that a lot. Individually, they were successful. As a tag team, they were successful and very popular. Made me the wrestling fan that I became today. Then you got the big three women I keep talking about: Chyna, Miss Elizabeth, and Cyndi Lauper. Three major components that helped the WWE get to that next level. So there's a lot.
Lex Luger is going in this year, and I remember interviewing Luger about 3 or 4 years ago, and I said, other than you, Lex, is there anyone else who should be in the WWE Hall of Fame?
Sure.
And the first words out of his mouth was Miss Elizabeth.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I did a short on that on my YouTube channel. I mentioned the fact that she was the first woman manager in the WWE. It was July of 1985. She was introduced. I remember it very, very clearly. She was involved in major storylines. The biggest one, the Mega Powers, the forming of the Mega Powers, the destruction of the Mega Powers was huge. She had a run in WCW. And, unfortunately, her untimely passing, but you can put her in homicide.
And she was such a sweetheart. I remember her so well.
Yeah, she deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, and I'm still an advocate for Cyndi Lauper. I am still shocked. 40 years.
Oh yeah, me too. Maybe she doesn't want to go in there. I don't know.
It's
a natural. It's a natural.
That's a thing. I mean, I think that would be huge. They could actually do like a rock and wrestling Hall of Fame type theme. You get Mr. T's in, Hogan's in. That main event, that whole main event is in the Hall of Fame, except for Cyndi Lauper. It's just crazy to me how this is happening. All right, we got to move on here. We can go on all night.
Got to be politics. Got to be.
Yeah, got to be. Steve O is chiming in. He says, "Ooh, I like this one. Ray Fenix versus El Grande Americano at WrestleMania." Joe, what do you think of that match? Did we lose him? Bill, what do you think of that match?
Ray Fenix is not on the radar of the WWE universe at this point. It would be much too soon to do that.
You think it'd be too soon to do that? Yeah, because
I think Otis needs to challenge him.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think Joe is trying to get back in here. There he is. Joe, you back?
We're here.
What would you do, Joe? You just decided you don't want to hear Bill's comment, or
it's a bathroom break?
Yeah, I don't know what happened there.
I don't know if you heard the question though, but it involves Ray Fenix versus El Grande Americano at WrestleMania. What do you think?
Probably not. I think it would be great, but I don't think with 24 days out or so that we're going to get there.
Okay.
Yeah, Ray Fenix isn't established in WWE at this point.
Oh, that's true. That is true.
Don't take it for granted.
Yeah.
That every WWE fan knows who Ray Fenix is. They didn't all know who Pentagon was.
Right. Well, they'll probably build them up with more packages and all that stuff. So Matt wants to know, has anybody heard what the total number of matches for WrestleMania will be? Joe, same as last year, 8 each night, you think?
No, great question there. I did some digging on that. I haven't got a solid answer, but can't say yet. I think it's going to be 7. I don't want to be quoted. I don't want to see that tonight all over the internet.
It's too late. It's too late. It's out there now.
Yeah, I guess. I'm hoping to confirm at some point once I find out, but I don't know for sure yet.
Okay, so you think 7 matches per night is
per night? Yes, sir.
Okay. Bill, what do you think?
45 matches. It's going to be all week.
Oh, Jesus. They'll have to start on Friday.
That's it.
45 matches. I could see the WWE pulling that off. What would you call that?
Me too.
That'd be called what? Wrestle Marathon or something like that?
Yeah, WrestleMania-thon. WrestleMania-thon.
Matthew's actually chiming in with another question here. Will KO versus Orton at WrestleMania have any kind of stipulation? Bill, have you heard anything on that?
I haven't, but I'd like to see a last man standing match.
There you go, Bill.
Yeah. That'd be
there
brutal.
You go.
That would be brutal. Joe, have you heard anything with that?
Haven't heard, but completely agree. Just basically, Randy's teasing this punt, right? If you connect with the punt, the opponent's going to be down for a lot longer than 10 seconds. And they could reverse that with a package pile driver. If you hit that, you're down for 10 seconds. So a last man standing match here almost writes itself. I hope that's how they go.
That'd be cool. Todd's got a question here. Thoughts on Chad Gable as El Grande Americano? His match was good. Chad needs a huge push. He has amazing talent. I hope this is his time. We kind of covered that. You guys agree Chad Gable as El Grande Americano, good or bad? Bill?
Oh, are you sure it's Chad Gable?
That is true.
It might not be Chad Gable.
He had a cold.
Well, El Grande Americano, his style in the ring was very lucha-like. I liked his performance, but I'm not going to, Chad Gable got sick. He had a doctor's note.
Yeah,
so
he had the sniffles. He had the sniffles. Right. Joe, what do you think of that
doctor's note? Until somebody unmasks him, I am not 100,000% sure that it's Chad Gable. That's it.
Okay. Joe, you agree?
Completely agree. We don't know if it's him,
All right.
We don't know.
All right, moving on here. He also wants to know, does CM Punk somehow get in the main event of WrestleMania with Cena and Cody? He said, I want to read the fine print before he signed the contract to a three-way match. Could the favorite be winner of the three-way match gets to be in Cena Cody? That becomes a three-way for the belt. Cena pins Punk, wins the belt. Cody never actually pinned to lose his title. Am I just overreaching? We already have one big triple threat match, which is Rollins, Reigns, and who's the other guy, Joe?
Punk.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding as the questions about CM Punk. Do you see CM Punk trying to get into this John Cena, Cody Rhodes deal? Do you see that, Joe?
It's not something I've heard. It's something I've seen online, speculated a lot. Some of it makes sense. Right. I wouldn't mind if they added a stipulation to this triple threat match that the winner does go on to Cody and Cena. I'd be okay with that. I don't think they're going to do it, but if they did and they surprised everybody, I think it might add a little more juice to this WrestleMania buzz. So maybe they do it. I don't know.
That's two triple threat matches. That's big. Bill, what do you think? You think that'll happen? Triple threat match with Punk?
The wise man owes a favor to CM Punk. So if it's going to happen, Paul Heyman will make it happen.
Wow. All right. You heard it there from the Hall of Fame wrestling journalist, Bill Apter. Matt wants to know, what are the plans for the U.S. title and SmackDown tag titles at Mania? Will any of them be defended in a ladder match? He just wants a ladder match, I guess. Joe, I think you've commented, Joe. Are we looking at like a 4 or 5-way tag team title tornado match at WrestleMania?
We could be. That seems very convoluted. I don't know if it makes the WrestleMania card for sure. They make that Friday Night SmackDown card beforehand. Okay. I'd expect the U.S. title, however, to make WrestleMania, and probably a lot more than just LA Knight versus somebody else. So don't think there's any ladders involved there, but that's where I see it going.
Bill, what direction do you think that's headed with the SmackDown tag titles?
WrestleVotes, Joe, who do you see LA Knight defending the title against?
LA Knight.
Shinsuke is an option. Braun Strowman would work. Jacob Fatu would be available. You can do Solo. You can do Jimmy Uso.
That would be a great idea for Fatu to win that championship. To me, that's a billboard match.
So another short run by LA Knight, you're saying then?
Yeah, I think Fatu would be great as a crazy champion.
I see the Jacob Fatu LA Knight being on Backlash, like a rematch type thing. Like something happened with Jacob Fatu and Solo. If he fights LA Knight, Solo comes out, screws it up for Jacob Fatu, then he gets a rematch at Backlash. Something along those lines, because I see that match as a Backlash type match. But then again, Joe WrestleVotes calling 7 matches per night. You got to fill the card up. So putting them on.
That's right. No, that's
all right.
Fine.
All right.
Joe Lowry, you didn't say fill the card up. You're a New England guy.
You said card. You got to fill the card up.
Card. Yeah.
Use my Boston accent. Wicked pisser. All right. Nassim Bahar's chiming in again. What are the plans for Rey Fenix? What are the plans for Rey Fenix? We got an Intercontinental title match that obviously went south. What do you guys think? Joe, is this WrestleMania bound, this match?
The Intercontinental title?
Yeah, with Rey Fenix. He's asking what his plans for Rey Fenix is. Oh, I'm
Ray
sorry.
Fenix, I don't. No, you're fine. I don't think Ray Fenix makes WrestleMania.
I don't
Really?
either.
You know,
They have to introduce him properly.
Not even
Yeah.
like a surprise debut, things like
I
that.
don't think he's well enough known to the WWE universe to be a surprise entrant. I think a portion of the WWE fans know who he is, but
right.
I don't think it'd be like oh my God, it's Ray Fenix.
Be interesting to see if they put him under the El Grande Americano mask. And when Chad Gable's ringside and he comes out,
Great idea.
it's Ray Fenix,
Great idea.
something along those lines. Because you got to match this up with the Luchador. He had to have found somebody in his travels, and I think it's Ray Fenix. I think he found Ray Fenix. So, all right, good question.
You know what I would do with Ray Fenix? This is after WrestleMania. I would have Ray Fenix come in and defend the Lucha community and saying that Chad Gable is making a joke out of all of this.
Right.
And that becomes a feud.
Good idea.
Something
Cool. Balor Club Guys podcast. Hey, I want to give a shout out to the Balor Club Guys podcast. Great guy. I follow him on Instagram and so forth. He's like everywhere. He goes to all the matches. He's been confirmed he will be at WrestleMania. So he takes a lot of good photos. I want to give him a shout out there. He's got a question with Mania being 3 weeks from this weekend. Who's your pick to win, Cena or Cody, and why? Joe. I'll give it to Joe. Sorry about that.
Oh, that's fine. If I have to make that prediction tonight, I'm going to lean John Cena. I think the story there of him winning 17 now as a bad guy at WrestleMania is just too good to pass up. So that's my prediction tonight. It may change, but right now it's Cena.
All right, cool. What do you think, Bill?
I agree with him, but I have a question for WrestleVotes, Joe.
Sure.
Cena dropped Ric Flair's name when he said he was going to ruin wrestling.
I saw that, yeah.
Do we see a cameo, not wrestling thing, a cameo something from Ric Flair because his name has been dropped at this point?
I think, how do I answer this? I think it's silly if we don't. You're only going to do this one time. You're only going to pass Ric Flair one time. He's still here. He's still active enough. He's still friendly enough with plenty of people there. I say come to some kind of agreement, make it happen, even if he just shows up the night of and he's sitting in the crowd. At least acknowledge what he's done to get us here to 17 so Cena can break 17 at WrestleMania. That's what I would do.
And Cena can go wild, yelling at him, look what I did. Look what I did.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I beat it all.
Absolutely.
That's it.
Beat it all. He beat it all. That's a good one. That's a good soundbite. We're going to capture that. Let me capture the timeline. We beat it all. We do it live. Screw it. All right. Buddy CFC wants to know, will Jey Uso and Gunther main event WrestleMania night 1? Bill, what do you think?
I don't know.
He doesn't know.
I don't know. I mean, none of us know what matches are going to be on what night.
Joe, what do you think? You think that match is even is a good enough match to close out the show?
No.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Again, like Bill said, we don't know. But my prediction is that match is not in the main event spot. No.
I would say that the Roman Reigns CM Punk triple threat there will be night 1, and night 2 will be Cena and Rhodes. I mean, I can't see.
I would say you're right.
I don't. The Yeet stuff is great. We're gonna get the Yeet footage. I don't think it's good enough to close out the show, though. So
we could go home with Rhea Ripley winning the belt.
Liv Morgan's winning the belt. What are you talking about? All right, everything Chiro. I like that. Everything Chiro. Is Seth versus Punk versus Roman going to be one of the best matches of all time? I'm already hyped. Yeah, let's talk about that real quick. Those 3 in the ring at the same time. We got a glimpse of it already, but wrestling wise, Bill, what do you think we're in for with that match?
It's going to be kicking and punching.
Oh, really?
Kind of
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Why? You have 3 guys here that are furious. My God, he's got him in an arm lock. No, that's not the way to do it. It's got to be a battle. It's got to be a fierce battle.
That'd be cool. Joe, what do you think of that?
Joe, I love the match. I know it's getting some hate online. It's about 50-50 right now, but I love it. I think you're taking 3 of the top, I don't want to give it a number, but top echelon guys of the modern era here. You're putting them all together, in a match that's never been done before. This triple threat has never happened. So I love it. I think it's going to go last. I think it's going to be incredible. I think they're going to tell a heck of a story with Paul Heyman. I'm all in.
Okay. Excellent.
That's
Bill, you all
another
right?
company.
Bill,
That's
you right
another
over there?
company.
You
You're
okay?
right.
Yeah.
That is.
All right. Just
Swallow the tick crack.
okay. Just want to get a truthful life.
Yeah,
from
no. All you said they're going to be all in. That's the other company.
And here you go.
correct.
There you go. Here's
There
our
you
first. There you go. All right, moving on here. Shot Yourself, great username. WWE is killing the uniqueness of WrestleMania, making PLEs 2 nights, but he does not agree, or she does not agree, that other PLEs will be doing 2 nights. Do you guys agree? You think these 2-night PLEs are going to be a lot, Joe?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
To be determined if it works this year for SummerSlam at MetLife, 2 nights, New York City. Don't know if it'll work. They've already advertised 2 nights of SummerSlam next year in Minneapolis. We'll see. They'll make their judgment and they'll go forward with that. But if WrestleMania was the only 2-nighter a year, I'd be okay with that.
All right, cool. All right. Just trying to fly by these questions. We do have a few left here. AJ Shammer is chiming in. Is The Rock certain to interfere in the Cena versus Cody match at Mania? What do you think? You think The Rock's interfering in that one, Bill?
I don't know if it's an interference, but he's going to be a distraction.
Yeah.
Agree.
Yeah.
Agree. Joe, you agree with that?
Completely agree.
Wouldn't it be great if he inserted himself into that match? That'd be something, huh?
Yeah.
He needs to guarantee the John Cena win. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or better yet, he finds someone else that gets inserted. Maybe the Paul Heyman favor will come in. He'll talk to The Rock, ask The Rock, can I get in that match? And with CM Punk maybe turning corporate, maybe that's John Cena's way of turning back into a good guy or something like that. Who knows? I'm just making stuff up at this point. So
You are.
I am. A couple of questions coming in on social media real quick. Subin wants to know if you were in charge of WWE Creative. Here we go. Good segue. How would you end the Cody Rhodes versus John Cena match? Will Cena get his 17th world title, or will Cody retain and solidify his position as a top babyface and maybe a double heel turn or something like that? So matchmaker time. Joe, what do you think? How would you book that match?
I would book it with Cena going over, funky finish, Rock involved, probably some other people. Keep Cody looking strong, but Cody's going to lose here if I have the pencil. So that's where I'm at.
What do you think, Bill? How would you book the ending of that match?
Cody's going to win it somehow, and The Rock is going to make sure that because of a technical reason, Cody loses and the belt is given to John Cena.
Okay. Excellent.
It's going to be something deceitful.
Yep. And it also has to, and I think to me, I think it's going to be something that will continue the story too, as well.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because then again, you get backlash 3 weeks later. So something has to be done with that.
That's right.
But Joe, you forwarded some questions you got an email question, which was kind of neat. First question here, is the WWE interested in Kevin Knight and Alex Hammerstone? And if so, what is the likelihood of them joining WWE? Do you know anything on that?
Interested in both. Don't know if they're coming. Don't know what kind of offer they're going to get. But they're 2 talents WWE has their eyes on. Yes.
Okay. So he's got a couple other questions here. Bill, I'll ask you, any update on Josh Alexander as to where he might sign?
No, I haven't heard anything at this point.
Joe?
Same. I'd lean AEW. Not certain, though.
Okay. He also wants to know Thunder Rosa, when she becomes a free agent, what is the likelihood of her joining WWE? Anybody on that?
Yeah, why not? Why not? If they make her an offer, she'd be crazy to turn it down.
Joe, you see Thunder Rosa in the WWE?
I agree with Bill. Why not? Again,
Why not?
if she gets that offer, why not?
Shout out to Thunder Rosa. She was a huge What A Day supporter when I first started out a few years back. We had some great interviews, which can be seen on Bill Apter's Wrestling One channel. And we also had
one wrestling.
Had it backwards. We actually had a great interview because Britt Baker was involved with her sidekick there, and they attacked who is now Ren Sinclair, Maddie Rinkowski in AEW. So I had an interview with Maddie Rinkowski, and Thunder Rosa interrupted the interview. So that was kind of neat. You can find that if you just type in Thunder Rosa, what a day. It's a neat interview. I had a lot of fun with Thunder Rosa. We still keep in touch. Melissa is a great person, and I'd like to see her in the WWE. That'd be really great for her product to dig in there.
By the way, I'm glad you brought that up because I still do update the One Wrestling video channel maybe once or twice a month.
Yeah, you could see vintage Joe What a Day Lowry from years ago. Yeah, you could see that. This is interesting. Any idea how long Julia is out of action? Yeah, that was kind of a shock during that title match. She came into that match injured, right, Joe?
That's the rumor. Don't have that confirmed by any means, especially in regards to injuries. Don't want to speculate. Don't know how long, if at all, she's out. I'm not sure.
Right. Bill, have you heard anything?
Nothing more than Joe just said.
Okay. I do believe there was a issue of needing just time off from what I've read from certain news outlets. Take it for what it's worth on that end. That she was a little banged up. Nothing serious, just banged up. Needed some time off. So who knows? We might see her in the next few weeks. So it is what it is with Julia. She will be missed, but, congratulations to Stephanie Vicaire becoming the NXT champion as well as the North American champion. A couple of quick notes here before we take off. I'm not sure if you know, TNA's Gail Kim was let go yesterday, and that is really upsetting a lot of I'll say it's really brought out a lot of wrestlers voicing their opinion on this online. Nobody's holding back. A lot of love for Gail Kim. She's a great person. I've talked to her. I've been trying to get her on my What a Day show. We just can't get the schedule down. But Gail Kim, thoughts, I hate saying thoughts and prayers, but I didn't get it. The firing of her with TNA. What do you guys think of that, Bill?
I had heard today that it was something to do with the partnership between TNA and WWE. There's just something politically that may have happened in there. I don't know what it is. This is just what I've heard.
Okay, Joe, have you heard anything?
TNA allegedly is restructuring a lot of things now that the thing with WWE seems to be moving forward even more so.
Joe, have you heard anything on that? Nothing. I found the news surprising, much like everybody else, but no, I haven't heard why or what's next at all. No.
Real quickly, Mariah May is now going in a contract year. They just found out her contract expires this summer. So she could be WWE bound. Who knows? I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but that is out there. And there was another one. I forget who it was.
I'd love to see her in WWE. Oh, man. I think she'd be great.
Saraya's got a new book out. She was on the Hall of Fame podcast with Booker T this week. She voiced her very strong opinion that she would love to go back to WWE and so forth. So now there's a little rumor around that she is either going to be let go or she will be back in the WWE at some point. Obviously, Saraya, formerly known as Paige. I just wanted to get that out there. I know the show drops later on tonight, so that will be circulating in the internet wrestling community. So good stuff this week. A lot of good questions. Bill, did you get any questions on your end on your social media that you know of?
I have not checked this week. I've been very busy. Got planning my trip to WrestleMania, planning my trip to St. Louis. Lot going on here.
Joe, any teasers for your show coming up?
Yeah, WrestleMania news. I hope to clarify the 7 or 8 matches by Thursday morning. We'll see. Don't know if I can get a straight answer from them because things are still changing. We're still 3 weeks out, So a lot of WrestleMania news, though, coming on WrestleVotes Radio this Thursday with Sportskeeda.
All right. All that can be caught here on Patreon, Backstage Pass, all that good stuff. All right, that's going to wrap it up for me. We've been at this for a while. A lot of great questions. If you got a question for us, folks, please, you could message us or you could just respond to any Sportskeeda social media post to get those questions in. I want to thank everybody for joining us here tonight's Q&A presented by Sportskeeda Wrestling. Yes, and shown exclusively right here on the Sportskeeda Wrestling YouTube channel. And as always, when you get these channels, you want to like and subscribe to the channel to gain access to exclusive news and information. That way you stay up to date with the latest happenings in the world of professional wrestling. And I always put this asterisk in there. WrestleMania season is in full swing. Joe, Bill, you know the news is coming out fast and furious.
Yeah.
And you want to be the first to know, so join the channel for that. Man, we've talked a lot tonight, so that's going to do it for all of us here at Q&A. I'm Joe Lowry. Bill, Joe, please take us home.
It's all your fault. Take it, Joe. Sign us off, Joe WrestleVotes.
All right. We'll see you at the matches.
I'm breaking up with you guys.
Get out of here.